Hi guys, this is Srinivas Gatani again. Today is 27th of February 2025, and let's quickly have a look at the list of incidents which has happened yesterday. It was a big day in the US as well as across the globe. The very first thing is that there was the first cabinet meeting in US presided by President Trump, which has happened since his inauguration. And Elon Musk was called upon to talk about Doge and what are the progress. I have noticed a few things. That first the first thing was Elon talked about the mails which he has sent to the entire 2.2 million plus employees and the workers whom U.S. government employs and contracts, and so this was kind of a pulse check, and he wanted to have to know that how many people are actually engrossed in the system and who are agile enough to reply within 48 hours. So it was a good move to see the what kind of agility does the system have and how many people are really present. He talked about a lot of people are actually not present. There are a lot of ghost salaries which are getting into other people's bank accounts in somebody else's names, and so this is an outright fraud. And then there are more people who do not know how to log into an email or have never checked email in their lifetimes, things like that. So the system is appalling, and there are about 450 departments across the US government. 2.2 million people is a huge number. And of course, there are people who are working on things which are essentially not required, and that's what exactly Doge is indicated to do or mandated to do. That yeah, you're supposed to remove waste, fraud, and abuse. S- So the second, the other thing is that we have seen President Trump backing Elon Musk's efforts since last 3 to 4 weeks, ever since Doge has been created. And yesterday, what happened is everybody in the cabinet was present, and Elon was brought about that to talk about what Doge has done, and nobody in the cabinet objected or had any questions. So uh, this uh, this is kind of a sign that cabinet approves what Elon is doing, and in a way, it was cemented that President Trump has told everybody or has given a clear sign to everybody that people have to comply with what Elon's Doge team is undertaking, or else you have your marching orders. Basically, this is a perfect setup to get the jolt set in, um, and get the government to become lean and efficient. Elon is the best guy to head this because he is a kind of guy who knows how to talk soft and still carry a huge stick, um, to be very effective. The downside, or one troubling part of this meeting was that Elon talked about death threats which he's receiving, and it is not a single threat he talked about. He said many death threats, like people are talking about stacking him up and this and that. So I was wondering that are these the international people who are threatening him? I think no. And are these the people who in the opposition who are threatening him? If they are doing so, I think they are stupid. They can clearly see that Elon has got backing of the president as well as the U.S. military. And if you are making a death threat, it is not a light one. It's not even a political threat to make a death threat. And if these are the people who are missing on the gravy train, which has been hacked because of the Doge actions, even then, I think they will be made accountable to at some point in time. And there's another possibility which troubled my head was that why is Elon making this publicly known at a cabinet meeting? Because is there some kind of an insider threat, which is highly unlikely at this point, but uh, could be a possibility because Elon is making it public at a cabinet meeting. So I remember 2 to 3 years ago, he made a tweet saying that if something happens to me, it was not a suicide. I didn't commit a suicide in a jolly way or in a stressful jolly way. So at that point in time, I was not deep into. I didn't get the context, and I didn't know much about U.S. politics. But now I think Elon is at a very high pedestal politically at the moment, and if somebody is making a death threat to him at this pedestal, uh, it's a serious concern. So if you look here, there's this guy called David Cherry. He was arrested yesterday for making a troll saying arrested was threatening to gut Elon Musk and parade his corpse through the streets. And this happened just after the meeting. So this is an interesting bit. Another big event which happened yesterday was a Doge committee presided by Marjorie Taylor Greene, and everybody they they questioned the entire USAID team and probed them very diligently in great details on how each and every transaction was approved or proposed, who wrote the checks for USAID, why did they do their homework that these monies are just not the leftist agenda being pushed across the globe, but also a huge amount of that money was money laundering, and wasn't it evident that USAID was money was going into running Muppet shows and funding terrorists in Gaza and Afghanistan and so many places. And then there were a part of this committee meeting was this that USAID actually has created a lobby in DC which pools money and then uh, tries to lobby more money to be pumped into the USAID. So it was a kind of a renewal uh, money chain, and definitely money laundering was involved. This proves it. Other events involved that when President Trump put these like stopped the aids. Actually, there were some judges who had tried to block those executive orders, and in America it is called as lawfare. And the judiciary there is so corrupt that the lawfare has become a common practice in a pay to play fashion, similar to politicians. So they are no less than politicians, actually, the judiciary. But the Supreme Court has sided with Trump here, and temporarily blocking lower court's order, which attempted to force Trump to give billions to foreign aid. Big win. So there is a temporary block by the Supreme Court. So that's a good news. There are news about similar right-wing politicians being arrested in, like, this presidential candidate in Romania was arrested and then released after a while. I think, I don't know, like whether a few days after a few days or within the day. But I see a pattern actually developing. There is a global left which is in tandem with each other, and then the patriots across the globe are regrouping to form some kind of a global right. So this is an emerging pattern which I see. Similarly, in Poland, the president there has talked about USAID fundings which have come to Poland, and they have been like creating to silence conservative outlets like TV Republica by pressurizing advertisers and all. So USAID has been not only pushing the leftist agenda in a in some kind of a propaganda fashion, but they have also been doing arm twisting and similar activities which are like destruction of a society as well as breaking up of nations. We talked about Indian Parliament had a discussion last week where George Soros Open Foundation Society, Open Borders Foundation, had given in more than $500 million to one political party in India to break India up essentially, the in crux. So the left has been together in a global tandem fashion for about more than a decade, and it seems the patriots, the people who are the right wing who have been pushed to a corner for so long across the globe are now trying to come together, and they have found a common power source in America again. So that's very interesting. So before I wind up this video, I'd like to say to the guys who are making these death threats to Elon is that Elon wore the tech support T-shirt to the cabinet meeting, and I would like to say tech supports life matters. Don't make those death threats because tech supports life matters. Thank you so much. Let me know about what you think about this video.